Hello, and welcome to the BinWise video training series. In this video, we're going to cover the basic wine list demo. It's great for new users as well as experienced users needing to brush up on their skills. To get started, we'll show you where you can find your wine list. If the list has already been published, you'll find it here on the right-hand side. You're going to have access to the name of the list, the HTML version, PDF version, and the builder. The builder is where you're going to make all of your changes, as well as updating items, removing items, and of course, adding and removing new pages. You can also access the builder via the wine list tab in Builder. Let's jump into the builder and click on the Edit button. You are now in the wine list builder, and there are three main tabs that you're going to have access to. Each tab is going to control a different part of the wine list. Build is where you can add or remove all of your pages, headers, which are text items, and folders, which are sections. Right now, we have 4 pages on the wine list. If I click on the arrows next to the pages, it'll open up and give me these headers in its sections. Now, let's go ahead and add a new page. I want to set up a page between California Reds and French Reds. Highlight the page above where you want to add the page. Enter in the name of the page. We're going to use California White. Click Add, and there we go. We now have a brand new blank page. Each page is essentially how we set up our page margins. For example, in Word, if we type at the bottom of the list page, it automatically creates that new page. In BinWise, you have to create that new page manually. So now we have California White, and I now want to add a title to that page. Use the same title, California White. So now, California White will show up on that page. Lastly, we're going to have to add a new section folder, which is going to be titled Napa White. We now have our new page, a title, and a blank section. Our next step is to go to our Populate tab, and we're going to add and remove wine. Since we have a blank page and an empty section, we're going to be adding wines. There's a few different ways that we can add these wine items to your list. The first is by category. This is going to follow your inventory tree, so anything in your wine section is going to be available here. Click on one of these folders, and it will open up a more detailed perspective. Next, we have by location. This is great for countries if you want to create a specific country section. Or if you want to dive deep, you can do type. A very straightforward section, fortified, red, sparkling wine. Producers is great for groups or verticals. I like to use the invoice tab for more of a maintenance phase. If you're currently in the beginning stage of creating a wine list, I wouldn't use this as much. In the maintenance phase, for example, in week 48, I have 4 invoices that have arrived, and within each of these invoices, it gives me a look at what I can add on. If I needed to, I could add any of these wines on the list. So what I want to do is I want to find my California Whites. So I'm going to stick in my category section. Click the item and drag it over. If you notice, all of the wines italicized are already currently on my list. Anything with a normal font, I know isn't on my list. I can hold Control and select the different wines and drag them all over at once. Now they all turn italicized. So there's a few different ways to add items to your wine list. It's all up to you and what you're really comfortable with. Most times, beginning wine lists use category, producers, and last but not least, the search bar. The search bar is something like a Google search. Type in something specific to the wine, whether it's the producer, fantasy, or cuvée name, and you'll get a nice list of available options from your inventory. Let's add some finishing touches on our details page. If you notice, we have 4 wines in our new section. 3 of them are in a bold red font, while 1 is not. That is the system telling me, acting as a safety net, that there is no list price. And if I click on the wine, I can see that. Remember, you'll never be able to publish and update your wine list without a price. So if I had an invoice, it would essentially show me a few options. Depending on what my markups are, we have some defaults here. If I wanted to mark it up 2.5 times for this bottle, I would click here, and if you notice, it rounds up to the full dollar amount. Depending on the price, it'll either round up or down. If I wanted to add my own final touches, I could go in manually and update the price myself. When I'm ready to save, click Update, and I'm good to go. Let's finish off the rest of our products that need a list price. I am now ready to make some adjustments to my description. A very easy, simple task. Simply double-click on the item and make any adjustments as needed. There's no reason for me to have 2 Californias in my description. So I'm going to go ahead and delete those extra words. If you have any wines that may need an accent mark, we have our full character list at the top. Just click to add. After I've made the touches to my list, I'm going to scroll down, and if you notice, we have a nice preview of what everything looks like. The preview is not in real time, so to update, I will click on this Update Rebuild Preview, and it'll take all the changes I've made above, and they'll become available down here. A brand new page, California White, Napa White, and my wines along with their bottle prices have been created. You also now have access to everything on your current list. It's a great way to make changes up here and then scroll down and update those changes to get a great look at what your work reflects. That is essentially the basics of creating your wine list. Last but not least is how to publish and make your list live. We want to make sure the builder works and that all of our changes are currently being updated in the background. But until you push and update your list from the builder, your changes won't be reflected on your live list. To make my list official, I click the review button. The system will then take about 30 seconds to review every item on my list and see if there's anything without pricing. If everything looks clean, it'll give me the option to publish the list. Click Publish. And once I click Publish, all of my changes are now going to be up to date. If you would like to take your PDF URL and put it on your website anytime you make a change and publish it via your BinWise builder, all of your changes will be reflected on your website. We highly recommend that you take advantage of this feature. Now let's go back to the home page. If for any reason you need to download and print out a copy of your wine list, you can do that by clicking View PDF. We always recommend using the View PDF because it'll have all of the updates and design elements. Thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, please check out our other videos in the BinWise Training Center for more features, tips, and best practices for your program.